Hello and welcome to Late Night Creations, where we do DIYs, decor makeovers, thrift flips, and so much more. I'm so glad you're here today joining us as we do the Dollar Tree Spring Challenge. I'm joining these lovely ladies, my friends, to do some Dollar Tree DIYs. Each one of their channels will be linked in my description box below, as well as the playlist to all of their videos. So be sure and check that out. Let's get started on DIY number 1. This is one of those little imitation cutting boards from Dollar Tree, and I just took that glittery paper part off that's on the back side of this. This is actually the back side of the sign, but we're going to paint it with this Sage by Folk Art. I love this color. I think it's beautiful. It's a great spring color, and I'm going to give it one good solid coat on the sides and the front. Now it's all completely dry, and I have these letters that I cut out in a previous video that I used as a stencil, and I saved the letters because we're going to do a reverse stencil. Now I'm using this double-sided tape that I get at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to try to take some of the sticky off so that it doesn't stick too much to my paint and peel the paint off. And this technique worked really well. I used a little piece of cloth, fabric, and tried to get some of that sticky off. So I'm just going to put a few little pieces of this double stick tape down just to hold my letters down in place and get a lot of that sticky off using my fingers and some of this fabric. Just dabbing it on there and dabbing it on there until it's still sticky, but not so sticky that it's going to peel the paint off when I take the letters off. Now I've got all 4 letters stuck down. I didn't show you sticking all 4 of them down, but I've got all 4 of them stuck down. And now I'm going to do a really heavy dry brush. So it's not really a dry brush. It's a medium brush. It's a semi-wet brush. And I'm going across here and I'm holding these letters. Now I'm doing the tulip, but I'm holding it down really tightly as I go over it. But once this paper gets wet, it sticks to the surface a little bit. So I'm still going in a side-to-side motion as much as possible so that it doesn't really get pushed up underneath the letter. So that, you know, just like when you're doing stenciling, you want to pounce, but we can't really pounce because I want to have these lines. So I'm just being very careful to try not to push the paint up underneath the letters. You'll see when we do the reveal that some of it is, but it makes it look a little rustic. So see, that looks great. And you'll see that a little bit of it did get under there. It's not super crisp, but this is the look that I'm going for. And I'm going to sand it a little bit with a sanding block. This is 180 grit sanding block. I get these on Amazon. I think I will have that in the description box below if you want to get some of those off Amazon. You also can get them at Dollar Tree, but I'm pretty sure they only have 1 grit at Dollar Tree, and it's a pretty rough grit. And so I'm just going to do the edges a little bit and run it across the letters. And then I'm going to use this ribbon that I got at Sam's Club a couple of years ago. I got it in the spring. And I'm going to do the awareness ribbon bow. It's super easy to do. I'm just kind of measuring out how much ribbon I'm going to need, how big I want it. I'm just going to do this simple little bow. Tie it all together with some twine in the middle, because when I get done, that twine in the middle on the front looks cute. Not sure why I didn't cut that other little twine tail off right then, but you know, sometimes there's no rhyme or reason to how I do things. Oop, there we go. Got it. I'm just going to glue that little bow right to the center. We're going to keep this DIY simple because it just kind of speaks for itself. And there is our finished product. I did put a piece of jute rope at the top for a hanger. Okay, DIY number 2. Now this one, I used these little rabbits that come in a pack at Dollar Tree, and I painted all of them white. And I started out going to put them face to face, so I did them where they were face to face, and then I did Mod Podge on all the wood grain sides, and then I did the iron-on method where you just reactivate the Mod Podge and iron it with no steam. And so I'm going to only show you 2 of them so that it's not redundant. And then I use these tiny little scissors and I cut around it. I tried the X-Acto knife and my blade was probably a little bit dull, but it didn't work as good as these tiny little scissors did. Now, if I would have been thinking, and if I did this again, I probably would just trace the bunnies onto the fabric and then Mod Podge them on without the iron-on method. Just use Mod Podge because the fabric does pretty good with just Mod Podge. I really don't know what I was thinking. We had freezing degree weather. It was super cold. I was in the craft cottage. It was really cold. My feet were freezing. I only have space heaters out there, and I think the cold got to my brain and I wasn't really thinking very clearly on this DIY. But they turned out really cute. I just didn't work. I worked harder, not smarter. But I got it done. Then I put a coat of Mod Podge on top. I did all of my little bunnies this way when I did the cloth on them. Now, these little carrots come from Dollar Tree. They come in a pack. I don't know if they had them this year because I haven't been to Dollar Tree in a month of Sundays, because I am crafting my stash. Now I took that little raffia off and I'm just going to make that little hole, that styrofoam down in the middle of those little twine carrots. And so I just made the hole a little bit bigger. I have this greenery, it looks like parsley almost. I got it from Dollar Tree a couple years ago. Been using it and using it and using it. And I'm just going to poke a few of those little pieces down in the top. You've seen lots of people do this. This is nothing new. And then I'm going to put it in between these 2 bunnies. I'm going to glue the carrot to the back of this bunny. I'm going to glue the other bunny to the other side of that carrot. So this is going to stand up. Now, to be honest with you, I was going to do all those bunnies you see the same way. Here's the finished product. I was going to do all of those bunnies that way, but then I changed my mind. I had another brilliant idea. So this is what I decided to do. I'm going to just put some little snips in this fabric and I'm going to rip the little strips. Make some little strips because I'm going to make a little bow to put on these bunnies. So I did the fabric on there and I cut it just like I did those last little bunnies. And then I'm going to make a finger bow with some twine. I'm going to take those little strips of fabric. I'm seeing, you know, how big I want them. Yep, that's good. So I'm going to get them all kind of straight. Then what am I going to do? See how big I want them. So I cut them in half. There we go. Thought that's what I did, but I couldn't remember. Then I'm going to tie it in the middle. I'm going to make 2 of them because I have 2 bunnies. Make sure I get my twine right in the middle. I'm going to tie it just like that, and I'm going to leave that twine on there because it looks cute. Then I'm going to just hot glue that right in the middle. You can see there was a little bit of print on that wooden bunny. It was like the Dollar Tree, I don't know, whatever it said on there. And it showed through the fabric, so this was my way of covering that up. I think this turned out adorable. So I did both of those the same way. And I just put it in a little napkin on my dishes. Now these striped ones, you see that I did 2 of them striped, yes, vertically and 1 horizontally. I think that looks really cute. And then I'm just going to glue these carrots a little bit crooked on there because I think that looks cute. And then I'm going to stage them on my plates the same way I did the other one on my napkins. And so I have a place setting for 5 on that table, so I can have 3 striped ones and 2 solid ones, and the little green one in the centerpiece. Okay, DIY number 3. This is a labor of love. This is a very special piece. This came from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to remove all of the embellishments and the hanger and the label and everything. I'm making this for a very special friend. I met her when she was in college, and she came to our church, and so I was sort of her mom, her college mom while she was at college. And then she got married and had kids, and then when she was having one of her children, I'm going to just talk while you watch me paint because you know how to paint. She was pregnant with her 4th child, and she developed a heart condition, and it didn't get better, and she ended up needing a heart transplant. But when that 4th baby was about 9 months old, I believe, her mother passed away, and so it was a really difficult time for her. And so long story short, she had to have a heart transplant, and I got to be her support and help her through her heart transplant. And so she's a very, very special young lady. She's like a daughter to me, and so I'm making this for her. So you can see that I painted it. I used a little bit of that elephant to distress it, the elephant chalk paint, just a little bit on the white, and then I used it on that love just to bring out the edges so that you could see that it says love. And on that little flat part down there, I'm gonna dry it off. I'm not drying it off. I'm smoothing it out with that little piece of t-shirt. Now, this is her last name, and I always say it wrong. I always say Defro, I don't know, I always say it wrong. But anyway, she knows I love her no matter how I say her name. But this is her last name, so I'm going to put her last name on there. And then I thought it would be cute on that little bottom part right there to put the year that they got married and established their family. So we're going to put established 2013. And I couldn't get it I couldn't create it on my Cricut to look right on there. So I just decided to write it on there with a Sharpie. Now with this black and white buffalo check ribbon, I'm just going to make a hanger. I tied 2 knots on there and glued it down. And at the top of that hanger, I tied another knot because she likes Farmhouse and she likes black and white check. And so I can't even talk. This floral greenery pick came from Walmart, and I've been using it on several DIYs, and I'm just going to just pick and poke it till I get it how I like it and what I want it to look like. And once I get it, I'm going to staple it and glue it, staple it down, glue it down until it looks like I want it to look. So, you know, we don't have to use the florals the way they come. We can cut it up and use the pieces however we want to. And I think this floral pick is just absolutely beautiful. I should have bought 2 of them, but I have been using this one for quite a while, and it's kind of lasted me. Sometimes those really thick hard pieces on the greenery are hard to hot glue, that hard plastic. And the original piece had the greenery stapled on there, so why not staple that down on there and help it be a little bit more secure. So I went and got a little bit more greenery. Those little white pieces were off of something else. I don't know. I have a little small container that has, I have it labeled floral bits and pieces. And this little piece of burlap ribbon actually came off of a different Dollar Tree decor piece that you know how we rip it off and we say we're going to save that for later for a different project. Well, this is later a different project. So here we go. I'm using this. I'm going to wrap it back around there like it was on the original piece. It'll kind of hide that greenery stem at the bottom. I can't really talk for watching myself for what I'm doing, trying to figure out what I was doing. I'm such a dork. And here's the finished product. I hope she loves it as much as I loved making it. Let me know in the comments below which is your favorite. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. And remember to be still and know that He is God.